Hi, so we'll be implementing a very simple JavaScript demo. I'm hoping you're familiar with HTML tags. So first of all, we're going to make a button. So we're just going to use the button tag from HTML, and we're just going to call it show picture. That's what the button would be called. Okay. Now that that's done, now you notice nothing happens when we click on it. We're going to define what should happen when we click on it. So on click equals show picture. So it's going to be a function that we are going to create. Okay, this is the name of a function. Now JavaScript is written in the script tag when you're writing it inline in the HTML page. So we're going to write a JavaScript right here. So we're going to define a new function. We're going to write function, name of a function, and curly braces. Now we're going to write what would happen when we click here. Okay. So now there's nothing that could happen because we haven't added anything yet. So we're going to add an image. Okay. So we'll use the img tag for that, and we're going to add a source from where the image is loaded. So this could be a URL or a link, a local link to an image. Okay, so I have an image from the internet here with this link. So you notice that it's quite big. We don't really want it to be that big, so we're going to set the width, and I think 300 would be a good number. So the picture is now 300 pixels wide. Okay, so now that's done. So what we want is the picture to display when we click on the button. So initially we want the picture to not be visible. For that, we're just going to add a style attribute to the image tag, and we're going to write display : none. So what that did is it set the display to none for the picture, so now it's not visible anymore. Okay, and what we're going to do here simply is we're going to set it back to being visible using JavaScript. So first of all, we want to know which image to target. For that, we need an ID. So we're going to set an ID for the image. Okay, I'll just call it picture, and here I will grab that element from the page. So I'll just create a variable which is done using var, and I'm just going to call it image, and then I'm going to write document.get element by ID. Okay, and we're going to specify the ID. So our ID is picture here. Just going to copy that, paste it here. Now we have our element. Now that we have our element, we can use it and manipulate it the way we want using JavaScript. So img now has the element, and we can set the style of this element to anything we want. Okay, so initially the style was display none. Now we want it to be display block. So let's go ahead and do that. You'll notice what block does. Semicolon. So this is what we're going to write, and so the image is going to be altered when we click on show picture. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try this out. There we go. So when we click on show picture, the picture appears right on the screen, and it's displayed as block. So there you have it. When you click on show picture, you'll have the picture appear on the screen. You can refresh it, set it to initial conditions, and just try and play with it. So this was a very simple demo of what you can achieve with JavaScript, okay, in the browser. Now let's go ahead a step further. Now, equipped with the knowledge that we have, we can also make the picture, we can also hide the picture if we want. So let's go ahead and create a new button. Okay, so we're just going to create a new button right here, and using the same steps that we did before, and we're just going to write hide picture. Okay, now nothing would really happen because we haven't defined a function for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and specify that. Let's go ahead and just write hide picture. Now that we have this, we can just go ahead and define this function here. Function hide picture colon curly braces, and we can do the same thing that we did before. Just copy this, paste it here, but instead of block, we're going to make this none, so that the picture disappears from the screen. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Now let's try it out now. Hide picture does nothing because it's already hidden. Show picture shows the picture. Now when we click hide, it would hide it again. So that's something you can do. Very simple, a very quick demo of what you can achieve with this. So in a similar way, you can really alter or modify or update any kind of property in a static page using JavaScript. So this is quite inefficient actually, because we have the same variable being defined 2 times. Okay, so what we can actually do is just take this out, because we just want it to run 1 time and have an image variable. Okay, so now it's a global variable for both of these functions. We can just get rid of this one, and now we have 2 functions utilizing the same variable because it's the same element that we want. It's going to work the same way that it did before, just with a bit more optimization, because we're not using the same statement 2 times. So that's a quick overview of what you can do with JavaScript. We just write it in the script tag, we define functions, and we define what we want to do in the functions, and that's how we do it. Now we could extend this and go ahead and do many more things with it, right? You must have used many buttons on pages that make a window pop up or show a dialogue. It all can be achieved using JavaScript. So let me just go through what we have done so far. So we have a button, as you can see, a show picture button, a hide picture button, and we have an image which is not visible in the beginning because the style has been set to none, the display is set to none. And then we have the script, the JavaScript, and we're just using this image variable, manipulating it in the functions. That's it. That was quite simple, right? Now go ahead and implement this on your own, play with it, try to make new things happen, and you can go a step further and optimize this script into like one function as well. Like you could just make a new function and call it like update picture, and it would keep a track of the state of the picture and set it to display block and display none, all in one function. So you would not have to define 2 functions for the same thing, and you could just go ahead and make both of these functions update picture. Okay, that is also doable, but for now we're just going to stick to this because it's quite simple and it gives you a good overview of what you can do with JavaScript. So sky's the limit, and this was it for now. I hope you got a good overview of JavaScript and the things you can do with it. So wish you best of luck and keep coding.